welcome to Nice Minds. I am your host, Brandon McCollum, also known as B-McC, and I'm joined with the other half of the Wiseman, Joe Fabiano. What's up, my dude?
What's going down?
So why don't you give me the background on like your interest in music and starting the Wisemen Show and all that stuff?
Right. So, I started listening to hip hop music a long time ago. My brothers were influenced me with that. I don't even remember, like real young, before I even hit double digits.
Word.
And just listen to all kinds of hip hop. First, a lot of the Bone Thugs and the Devin the Dudes and all the Dre's, and the West Coast definitely kind of took a huge takeover after that too. Just the sounds.
Yep.
Used to listen to a lot of funk and stuff back in the day, so hearing all those different samples, like I was already drawn to it just because, like, not even knowing those were samples. Like I didn't understand like those samples until like way later on in life, and you're like, holy shit, that is sampled from that song. Like, oh, now I hear it now. You start to hear it different, but that's where I kind of got started with music in general. And like I've had such a variety of music, like it's crazy because growing up, like my family has always been known for music too. Like my grandfather had a music shop. He used to play like the accordion, piano, guitar. I mean, pretty much everything. But they had a huge shop and stuff, and that was big back in that day. You know what I mean? And that was, I want to say it was in it was either Milwaukee or in Wausau, somewhere, I can't remember. But anyways, so music's been in there. So having like all this different variety of growing up, listening to all different types, it's always been something that's been in my blood, I guess.
Hell yeah, same here. My grandpa was a DJ, so
really?
I have a similar grandfather. Yeah. He was a DJ, and he worked for all these different radio stations all around the country. So my mom moved all around growing up, and was raised by my grandfather. So he was always playing music. So my mom ended up playing music around the house, and he ended up in California, and that's why I was born in California, because my mom met my dad, and so I was actually drawn to West Coast as well. So that's a parallel that we both share, man. That's dope.
Yeah, I've been on this Clubhouse. I haven't been on it as much as I was at first, but I got in these groups, and it was definitely East Coast influence, and it's like tough listening to these guys. once you're a West Coast person, it's tough to listen to East Coast influence.
Yeah,
but it's been dope though. But to answer the second part of the question, how did the Wiseman start? I don't know if Jake talked about it, but me and Jake used to work together back in the day, and how our friendship kind of started was us pinging music back and forth. And we were always trying to figure out who dropped the fastest. Like, we're on all the different websites figuring out who just released today, what just released now, what mixtape just came out, blah, 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 blah. And that's how we kind of became friends, and we started chilling, and then we kind of drifted apart. I got a different job, started working in a different industry. And we linked back up one day listening to the Game documentary 2 and 2.5. And he was like talking about we should do a podcast. I'm like, nah, fuck that.
Yep.
It's like nobody listens to podcasts. You know, this is probably five years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago. And because me, like I never even listened to podcasts, period, ever.
Yep.
Like not one. And I would prefer to listen to music. It's hard for me to even listen to an audiobook. A lot of people have been asking me to do like audiobooks. I won't even do that. I'm gonna listen to music when I'm in my car.
Yep, same.
I got a sound system, like it's like impossible for me to not listen to music.
Yep.
I don't want to listen to a goddamn audiobook. What the hell? Fall asleep driving.
Yep.
But so it was tough for me to put that, but I started thinking about it, and the way he broke it down, and what his plan was would just be us literally just chopping it up, no interview, and just keeping it raw. And I was like, yo, I'd go in and do that. We could talk about music. I mean, we do it on the phone already for an hour. We could literally record our freaking conversations.
Yep.
And set them out as podcasts, because we go in deep music talk. You know what I mean? And whether it's debates or just talking about it, giving our opinions, like, no, you should give this a second chance, whatever. Like, that's what we do with music. So anyways, we decided to start doing it, and we didn't really know how to do it. Podcast was not something that's all over now. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't even know at that time, like, probably could have went on YouTube and maybe found some nice little setups, but there were no tools and all this shit they have now that just makes it easy. You know what I mean? So we just kind of winged it the whole way, man. And we battled with some sound quality issues. We started recording off of an iPhone, like 8, iPhone something. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
iPhone 8, I think it was on the speaker app or whatever. You know what I mean? You only could record for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how it got started. And we just, at first, we didn't really have like a true plan or direction. You know what I mean? Like we just kind of went into it thinking we're just going to talk about hip hop like we already naturally do. Like I'm not joking. Like me and him could talk every single day. And if we don't hang up on each other, like we'll have an hour-long conversation. It's generally going to be wrapped around music somewhere along the other. You know what I mean?
Straight up, yep.
So like we could do that literally nonstop. And that's just what's kind of given us a good vast sense of knowledge of all different types of hip hop too. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
And so we finally started doing it, and then we started getting more guest oriented, and we started getting interested in the guests. We started having some really unique guests and some good artists, and then we started realizing how dope the local talent was. And I mean, one of our first few episodes, we got invited, or we kind of went into Lucian Parker's one of his concerts, and we set up our first booth there, and then Lyric Merid's Power Moves.
Dope.
We had some of the dopest episodes that we had there. And I mean, we were recording on a fucking studio mic, dude. Like it was tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, but we still had it. I think we could still find those episodes too.
You guys are a huge influence to me, in my opinion. I mean, I talked to Jake about this as well, but if there was no Wiseman, there would be no this. You know, I wouldn't have wanted to do this probably. I mean, it's the same thing with like, you know, the stuff that Gary Vee posts and the same things like with Joe Rogan and all that stuff. But I mean, you guys are like a huge influence as far as the local scene goes. And I feel like your guys' voice has been very important to the culture locally. So I just wanted to give you your props, and you helped me get this going. We had like a trial run early on a couple months ago now. And dude, I really appreciate that, man. I mean, just from like I didn't even think we were going to do a episode, but you're just like, want to record one, and we just did like a trial run, man, and that was
sometimes
dope.
you got to do that just to get through those bumps that you're gonna run into. I mean, no matter what, like I could start with a brand new fresh setup, but I'm gonna have some bumps in the road. You know what I mean? Right. It's just until you get situated, and it's the way electronic shit works.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Man. And it's like there's so much to it nowadays, from streaming, doing this, and how you're gonna rip the vocals off. It's tough, man, and it's good. At least we were able to kind of break through that stuff, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm glad it influenced you, and I'm glad you've done like quite a few episodes. I'm glad you booked yourself up, because now it's clear on how much work it is, for one. Right. But two, it is therapeutic, man, to get on there and have a full conversation with somebody. And when you have these more natural podcasts, and to be able to just speak your opinions and get that stuff out and listen to somebody else's perspective, it is therapeutic. And I think that's one thing about the show that's always kept it going for so long is we keep talking to these different artists, and it's like every time we get to this show, it's nice to see them get a spark of like major interest. You know what I mean? They start to get really motivated. They start coming up with extra ideas. They start coming up with ideas for us. You know what I mean? It's cool seeing that spark, man. I feel off of that shit. That shit's fun. You know what I mean?
Have you spoken to Jake since last night about the recording that we did?
No, I have not. When did you record with him?
It was actually last night.
Oh, okay. I was wondering that. I didn't get to ask you because he's obviously going through some shit. Yeah. And I didn't know when you recorded with him, and I was really surprised that you're actually able to record with him yesterday.
It was crazy timing, because I know you guys didn't even like talk about it, and you know I booked with you guys booked like literally like 24 hours from each other. He did 7 o'clock last night. You did 7 o'clock tonight. And man, the episode that I did with him, I mean, he told me everything, like everything. And I'm gonna come out and say this, because I want to be vulnerable as possible on this podcast. I cried afterward, man. Like that was an emotional
Well, if you guys talked about everything, I bet you he did too.
Yeah,
He's going through some serious shit that
some major
I
stuff.
wish nobody has to deal with, bro. Like I don't give a shit who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And I was just, I mean, and he told me, like, he really thanked me for doing what I'm doing. He's like, man, I feel like I'm talking to a therapist. I'm like, that's dope. I mean, and the fact that he felt comfortable enough to open, because I mean, like, I've talked to you several times at this point. I mean, we've had 2 or 3 conversations, but I've never talked to him. Like, I mean, we've interacted online somewhat, but that was our first real conversation, and he like gave me the exclusive. And
it's good though, because a lot of people are wondering what the hell is going on because we haven't dropped any content. The only thing that I was able to do is I actually had to ask Matt Wales for a favor and see if he could edit, because I mean Jake did all the editing. I mean, I don't think people understand, but he literally put in 60 hours a week on that shit.
Yeah, that's what he told me.
Like almost to the point where I do think it was too much. You know what I mean? Like, and it's frustrating to see like where we've came, but it's also like awesome to see where we came. But the amount of work that guy's put into, literally, like now to the point of where it's hit, and I don't want to say like this could be the main reason for it, but this obviously plays a part of the reason. Right. You know what I mean? So to see that, it's tough, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
I think I don't know what's gonna honestly happen in the future. I'm balls in his court. I want him to get over, and I don't know if he'll get over it, but I want him to heal from what he's going through right now, and just give him plenty of time. I just told him, I said, the Wiseman Show, we can hold, man. What you got going on, we can hold.
That's pretty much exactly what he said. I mean, he said like I big question mark on the Wiseman Show, and he just needs to work on him. And yeah, I mean, just the fact that he opened up that much and gave me that much, it meant a lot. I mean, like you said, man, you guys have put so much work and so much energy into the Wiseman. I mean, it's a brand, bro. I mean, like it's a straight up like from your logo to the 200 plus episodes you guys have done. But I mean, coming from my life and running a record label for 5 years, as successful or unsuccessful as that was, it burned me the fuck out too. I mean, especially like when my mom got cancer in 2018, and I had to help her, and just trying to get back into it after that, this past year, it was like, nah, I got to work on me.
Well, and that's the thing. You got to priorities have to weigh. You know what I mean? If you're not prioritizing what's important, especially when it comes to yourself, and I'm guilty of it too, man. I will help somebody else before I help myself. You know what I mean? And I'll dedicate a lot of energy into something before I'm even completely ready yet. You know what I mean? And I actually did that to a point where I resigned from my career for many different reasons, but part of it was because I just was not happy or healthy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I've been off since August, and it's January now. You know what I mean? So
yeah, damn.
I've had plenty of time to reflect, hang out with my kid. Been a stay-at-home dad basically with her. So growing up and having that, really reflecting and having a value, your priorities change. And that's why I'm comfortable to say, like, even if the Wiseman Show didn't continue on, like, it really, really sucks, bro, because we did a lot of work, and we've literally built such a solid foundation, and we've had such cool connections from it, and people were really starting to notice nationally also. Like, it was to the point where, like, it was cool. It was really, really, our work was starting to really pay off. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm comfortable to say that if he's got to stop it to make sure his life is straight, I'm not going to replace another co-host. I'm not going to try to continue the brand. Like, if it ain't me and him, it's not going to continue. That's just the way it's going to be. I'm willing to make sure that his priorities are good, because I'd rather have a friendship at the end of it versus something we created and then ruined our fucking lives over. You know what I mean? I don't want that shit.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. The friendships are much more important, man. I mean, it was the same with me with Nice Guy Entertainment. I ran it for the first year and a half with a friend I had known since 95, and he just didn't want to do it anymore, and he was like, I would rather bounce out now than to ruin our friendship, and
right. And that's smart, and that's just how you communicate, you know what I mean? And and unfortunately, like, the way everything went down, like that wasn't the way to properly communicate, and now he's got to like face everything all at once. You know what I mean? I think in the future, if he gets comfortable or he wants to get back on, I think the Wiseman Show will keep going.
Absolutely.
It won't be as crazy content as it was.
Yeah.
I mean, literally his content was fucking nuts.
It was nuts. It was, yeah.
There's nobody that kept up for years with
Yeah.
the amount of content that we've had. I mean, even
For
if you just
real.
look at our Instagram, just think about how much work each one of those posts are. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's so many posts that we've deleted off of there just to make sure our grids were organized and cleaned. Like there's so much shit.
Wow.
It's not even
that's
funny.
Crazy. Yeah.
So like to really think about that, like I think we would go back to what we started this for is as our hobby, is what was fun, and have these conversations with an artist, not focus so much on trying to make a bag off of it.
Right.
Even though like it's hard because when you did it for 5 years for free, you kind of want to make a bag off of it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I think that it put a lot of stress.
Yep.
And if we look at it in a natural way and just let it do what it does and just see if it takes off in that aspect, I think that might work. I honestly would trust the process enough to just do what we do, keep having the connections, keep interviewing the people, and literally just showcase the freestyle and the episode. That's it. All the middleman content, whatever.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's important. And then that's a similar lane that I'm trying to explore these days too. I mean, with this podcast, with my sample packs that I'm doing and stuff like that, you know, in the beginning, especially with the sample pack stuff, it was just getting so stressful. And, you know, we had to like dial it back. And I'm like, now, I just want things to grow organically. You know, I want to put these podcasts out. I want to put out consistent sample packs, but I really don't want to stress over all the little things anymore. You know,
and you gotta be smart with how you do stuff just in life in general too. Like you're gonna start seeing this if you already haven't seen it, but like everybody keeps talking about it's 7 streams of income to be a millionaire. You know what I mean? I've seen it probably 10 times just recently, so you're gonna start seeing it everywhere. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? And I'm watching these people do it like, well, it takes 7 streams of income to be a millionaire, da 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 da. It takes da 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 da. And I keep saying they're like, well, I got 2 full-time jobs and a part-time, and I'm doing this and that. Like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like priority, like just relax.
Right.
Get a common balance. Focus on one or a couple things, but you don't have to die over it. You know what I mean? We got to find that comfort level and try to maintain it and do it natural. And it's tough though, because when you want to be super successful nowadays, it takes literally driving yourself fucking insane.
Absolutely.
Like I was talking to my buddy Brandon, he's like, you guys were literally just going crazy. Like you guys are really right there. You're going crazy. And I was like, I know, man, and da-da-da. And he's like, it sucks because that's literally like, that's what it takes. That's what it takes is you got to fucking go crazy. So hopefully we went crazy enough and we can come back to it and just do what we normally do. And it's still there. You know what I mean? Which I think it would be. I'm not too worried about it.
I mean, as far as your audience goes, I don't think you guys have anything to worry about. I mean, you guys have such a solid foundation built. I think that, you know, it would be one of those things where even if it took a while, you know, you guys could come back to it when he's ready. Because, I mean, I don't know. I don't see the Wiseman Show as far as, like, your listenership and your fan base going anywhere, you know?
Actually, I think it'd probably the first episode that we have back will probably be stronger than most.
Be huge, yeah. Because I was talking to Jake, and he said, you know, we were talking about your Patreon. You guys had just launched that, like just launched, you know, the ways that you guys were gonna make money with all that stuff. And yeah, man, I mean, I totally feel for you both, man. I totally know. I mean, I can't imagine how tough that is, tough of a spot. So like right now, are you looking at any creative prospects? Are you looking to do anything? Are you? I saw you. Did you get like a realtor license or something?
Oh, I got my mortgage license.
License.
But I got my mortgage license. But there's another opportunity that came out that I can't necessarily talk about yet because contracts aren't completely finished yet. But it's gonna be something pretty wild, actually. That's coming to town in Minneapolis here. It's a pretty unique opportunity. So, I wish I could talk about it, but it's super dope.
That's what's up, man.
But
Yeah.
but other than that, nothing else. You know, I've focused on when I quit my career in general, I wasn't happy with the way I was treated and the way a corporation in general was operating, valuing all their employees. So when I left, I was actually going to get out of that industry. I was going to go into the mortgage world just to get a better life balance because I was working a lot of hours again at the end. But yeah, I've gotten to the point where I was working too much as well. Like we were about to double up. We were about to do 2 episodes a week. And then, yeah, it was about to get even more work. And I'm glad we didn't end up doing it. Like I was already kind of like, fuck, dude, we're already doing a lot. Plus I'm about to get back into going crazy work again because it was tough when I do everything all at once. But yeah, I'm just like I said in the beginning, like I'm just calculating right now, trying to pick the best opportunity. The one that I'm about to completely finish here, and I'll soon be able to announce will be my main career, and then on the side I'll do my hobby photography. You know what I mean?
Oh hell yeah!
I'll do that on the side and do a couple other things, but otherwise keep it pretty chill, man. Just enjoy the life balance.
I almost forgot that I ran into your photography. You're dope, man.
Thanks, man.
You're way dope. Do you do stuff for artists a lot, or is it mostly just like family stuff, or?
No, honestly, it's just been a lot of family people, and I've done a lot of like portrait headshots and stuff. Like Mercedes-Benz of Rochester, I did all their employee headshots and stuff like that. Got a little portable setup. I did it right at their shop to make it convenient for them too. You know what I mean?
Nice.
But I did a gal that I know, a lot of referral business, man. When I launched that, like I didn't think I was gonna be as busy. I did. Like I failed my first mortgage test. Because like I got super busy. I was like, holy shit. So like I quit even like advertising. I quit posting any pictures that I was doing even. Like I got somebody that I did since my page has been up. But I'm pushing it to the side. I got like a few other corporations and a few other business headshots that I'm got set up, and then I got like 4 weddings next year that I'm doing. But otherwise it's gonna be just kind of friends, family, just referral biz.
Nice. How long you been doing that?
Honestly, I started not too long after the show when I started like kind of dabbling into it.
Oh, okay.
I'd say probably like around 2018 is when I got my camera. And,
that's recent. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty recent. I mean, I've actually like I practiced for like a year. I'd say for a solid year I've been practicing pretty good.
That's what's up.
Actually taking it serious.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, and I got a decent camera. It's nothing crazy, but I've now, like when I said I practiced for a year, I could have watched a 30-minute video and had it under control, but and now I understand my camera so freaking well because of trial and error.
Yeah, I bet. That's all that, you know that stuff, man. Yeah.
Just like an audio program, man. Once you know that program like the back of your hand, why would you go to another one?
Right. Yeah. Have you been dabbling in any sort of like production work or anything now that you got Ableton?
Hell no.
Nah?
Oh man, I've had Ableton forever, dude. I've had Ableton for a long time, and the only thing I know how to do is make sure each one of my tracks is ready to go and hit record and stop it. That's it.
Bro, and Ableton is the one software that like I'm good with Reason, I'm good with Pro Tools, I'm good with Logic Pro. Like I'm pretty good with different DAWs, but Ableton's the one that I've always wanted to learn and wanted to know. And you have it, but you're not using it to its full potential, bro.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. I have so much stuff, but I don't even, honestly, like, I have no idea how to use it. And, like, I would love to go screw around on it because I remember a program, like, way back, like Napster days. I remember my brother had this program, and he had this little DJ setup, little DJ X thing. I don't remember what it was. And I remember just picking that thing up and spending like hours, like just fucking around. I was like making beats and stuff. I'm like, wow, it's kind of fun.
Hell yeah.
But I've never ever like known how to do any of that stuff. I've never gone to school, you know, like you guys, you've all gone to school with it. You know what all the terminology is. I don't know what any of that shit is.
Oh, dude. I mean, I won't say that it's easy, but I mean, literally, you got tutorials at your fingertips, bro. So, I mean, anytime you're just like sitting at your computer, open up a tutorial and just get started, dude. I mean, like I
see those little tutorials. I thought about starting to click on some of those things, actually.
I feel like, I mean, with your music knowledge and, you know, just your knowledge of like doing the Wiseman Show for so long and talking to people, I feel like you'd just be a natural, man. I feel like you could pick it up.
Well, it's definitely different because like I started to do music. I started to rap. I started to write some songs. Actually, I only wrote like one song. I had serious writer's block. Like I actually enjoyed freestyling out verses and stuff, and then probably writing them on paper. But I never ended up taking it real serious. Like I said, I was taking it serious, but I never did. And
Yeah,
then I realized like how much freaking work
it's so
it
much
really
work.
is,
Yeah,
and it's not even like no way.
yeah,
I ain't doing that.
I
So much
feel
money
that.
and work for nothing.
Yeah,
I hate to say for nothing, but like you really have to put in a lot of money and a
you
lot of
do.
work.
Yep.
And it has to be the cleanest quality, no hiccups, got to stay as consistent as possible to maybe have a 1% chance to make it like super lucrative.
Yeah,
Like you got to grind your ass off and you got to have side hustles and you got to do all that kind of stuff too. Like it
absolutely.
definitely takes some serious time and energy.
Yeah.
But if I did anything, I probably wouldn't do. I might actually, you know what? I might learn some beat making. I might actually do something like that because I do love production. Production's a major part of my ear.
I'm telling you, man, I think you would love it, man. I mean, it's especially, I mean, for me personally, like, I mean, I started rapping in like '01, late '01, and I got into production making beats like late '02 probably, '03, and it completely replaced video games. Like, but you know, because I had the first Xbox,
Yep.
and that was the last new system that I ever owned. And after that, it was like it was over, man. Like I completely put, you know, anytime I was bored, I would just be sitting there clicking around and just figuring out how to make beats. And that was back before tutorials were even
Right. That's
around, you
like
know.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep,
That's the old school days where you
yep.
just jump on and start
Trial
pushing
and
buttons and
error.
making noises.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
was
funny.
lucky that, you know, because I was rapping at the time, so I would sit with a buddy. He was a techno dude from high school, and he would make these techno beats and stuff, and I would sit there and produce my beats with him. So like I would sit down at the computer and just like be, you know, tell him kind of what I wanted and say, you know, what was dope and what wasn't dope, and I would just like watch how he did it. And so that was my tutorial, man. So yeah, once I got the program, it was just like game over, you know.
Well, I definitely like my video games, so it could be something to
Yeah,
get me off of it.
yeah, exactly. If you have a problem with the video games, it's definitely something that will replace it, and
Right.
so it's a much more productive habit, I would say.
I love production though. I mean, production's everything for me with music. I mean,
Oh yeah,
I love lyricists. Like that's like my cup of tea. Is like I like a really good
right.
boom bap lyricist song. Like that's my favorite shit.
Yep,
Um, but production is everything.
absolutely, man.
You can have a phenomenal
Yep,
lyricist song and a very well written song, and it could be on pattern. But if the production sucks, the beat sucks. It's
exactly.
whatever.
There's songs out there that people say are like the most brilliant songs ever, but if the production is trash, I cannot listen to it.
Yeah.
I mean, if the quality's trash, I can't listen to it.
No, I agree 100%, man. And you can have just a banging beat and some shitty ass lyrics, and people
Right.
love it still.
Yep, straight up. I mean,
'Cause that's everywhere.
yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, obviously, like you and I, we talked about Outkast. I mean, Outkast is a perfect example of like dope ass production, dope ass lyrics. Like they were like the whole package when it comes to that. You
It
know,
still
and
blows my mind to listen to some of them old school CDs and realize how their production was, what the tools they had,
oh
and
yeah,
then nowadays how people can't even still match that quality.
right,
Like
yeah,
you gotta be goddamn tone deaf.
it's crazy. Yeah, I
Like I
think
hear
about that
music
too.
nonstop. I get so much music sent to me, especially like after people started finding out like on Clubhouse and stuff. And that's when I really started realizing like how nationally like the Wiseman Show was starting to be heard of. Like
Yep,
a lot of these studios, a lot of these people were already starting to hear us because like I keep jumping in random different rooms, like have no ties to us at all. And like people are like, no, I've heard about you. You guys da 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 da. And it's somehow they're
that's
connected
crazy.
because one of our artists goes back and forth from here or there, whatever the case is, and it's just spreading like wildfire. And that, but since being on there, like people they talk about us and they'll kind of shout us out and whatever, and I'll get crazy fucking music sent to my IG, dude, now, and like, oh my god, it's just there's so much shit. It's so terrible. It's like, how can you send me something that's not even mixed and mastered yet? Like, how can you send me something that's just not even finished? Like, if you're going to showcase a song, for one, send me the best thing that you absolutely have, period. Send me the best thing. I don't care if it's 10 years ago or a year ago or 2 seconds ago. Make sure that song is like done and finished. Otherwise, I'm not going to give it any time of day.
Yeah.
One of my really, really good friends always sending me unmixed and mastered shit, and I have to like tell him like nonstop, like, fucking stop. Dude, just stop. I know, dude. I know you don't. I'm like, dude, don't send me shit.
Right.
Until it's done.
Yeah, what's crazy about it too is how accessible all the technology is now. And you know, and like you were saying, like back then, like it was so much more work to make a fucking beat. You know, like I mean they had all this outboard gear and they had to learn all the outboard gear, all the ins and outs of that, and you know, record to tape and you know all the rest. Like I don't even understand the way that like recording to tape even works. I mean, like I do a little bit, but like that shit is insane. But now we have like the ability to do everything, like all those sounds in our hard drives, like literally, and people are still trying to put out trash. You know, like people need to put the effort in.
And it's nice that people are starting to call them out now. You know what I mean? Like even people's friends are starting to call each other out now because it's not a disrespect. I think people are finally not as sensitive and understanding that it's not disrespect. But you're talking one of the most oversaturated markets right now. Like
absolutely,
dude, it's crazy. For how much you have to invest in here, it's super oversaturated to get your return. You have to seriously calculate every single step with quality. It's not about just quantity. It's not just about who you know. All that stuff helps, but you have to have really good quality. From every photo that you have lined up, from your social media to everything that you have has to be completely structured.
Yeah.
Like professional quality.
I do agree with that. But at the same time, I do think that starting out or starting anything, it's more about like trial by fire and with quantity and like,
sure. Yeah.
You know, putting out as much as possible to see what works. But at the same time, like you're saying, like you know, somebody in your position, you know, if you're trying to get somebody in your position's attention, like people that aren't ready shouldn't even bother, you know. So like that's going with what you're saying. Like you got to make sure your shit is hitting before you send it to some of these people, you know.
Yeah, if somebody wants advice on something, that's different.
Right.
That's completely different.
Yep.
That's like if you want advice like on how to make a song. Well, absolutely. You can send me something that's unmixed and unmastered. You know what I mean? Like that's a whole different conversation.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like if there's like the trial and error side of those things, like I definitely understand that. And if you're new, you can't just jump into good quality. You're gonna learn.
Right.
But at least when you learn, just make sure you keep polishing it. You know, that's my biggest thing.
Exactly.
Got to keep polishing it. You're never the best until you're levels of Drake. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think all these people jump into it and just expect like they're going to do it for a year and then they're going to blow and that they're ready for the majors. And I don't think people really understand that it, you know, all the effort that really goes into it with, you know, constructing a song and, you know, the lyric writing, everything, production.
And you have to make a hit. You have to have some kind of hits. And to make a hit is really, really tough.
Yep.
Like you can make 100 really good songs and one may stick.
Yep.
A hit is like really, really tough, but you have to have a hit in order to get some kind of recognition.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, you can have a really good slow growth and do some constant travel and do the hand-in-hand networking outside of COVID, obviously. But like you could do all that, do like what Tech-9 did, and maybe not have hits, but he still even had hits though. He had stuff that broke the internet when the internet was starting.
Yep.
The song "I'm a Playa," you know what I mean?
Oh,
like that song broke the internet before he even really, really blew up. Like he was still like technically called underground, if I'm not mistaken, back then.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I discovered him.
That shit blew up.
Yep, I discovered him in like 2004, and he was opening for Bone Thugs, Cottonmouth Kings, and ICP.
ICP, I remember that.
Did you go to that one, Target Center?
I don't know if I was there, or if I was around. I don't know. I don't even remember. I've been to one of those concerts, but I don't remember when it was.
Yeah, I think
I snuck in. It was so freaking long ago.
Yeah, I think I had heard of Tech-9 and I had heard like a couple of his songs at that point, but that was when I just became like a huge fan of his. I mean, and then the group that I was in, we ended up opening for him twice. And at Trocadero's and then at the Foundation, which I think the Foundation is actually where the Exchange is now, right?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. But yeah. So it's crazy to see where tech's
That's the boy
come.
fam spot though. The Exchange is nice, man.
Yeah,
Their
nice
their
spot.
networking place on Friday is freaking crazy, man. I really got to get out there soon. Yeah, you should check it out. We had them on. Chris Pham, he's a entertainment sports lawyer.
Yeah, I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Yep, super good dude. Super good guy. Him and his colleague Jake Abdo came out, who's also an entertainment lawyer. He was out of Cali and now he's back here, but he's part owner of the Exchange, or owns the Exchange, and they do this networking Friday night, R&B and hip hop. I'm pretty sure it's DJ Inferno that's the DJ usually there too. So yeah, it's really dope. Bunch of people networking, passing over their skills, their businesses, everything.
That's dope. I'll have to slide through. That's crazy. And it's crazy that Chris Pham's brother-in-law is Cisco. Like,
I know, isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Like, my mind was blown because I used to listen to Cisco back in like '99.
All the time.
You know, and like I was like a fanboy of like Drew Hill and Cisco and shit. So
for sure, dude.
To find out that he moved to Maple Grove, I was like, what the hell? And then to find out that was dude's brother-in-law, I was like, damn.
What? I know.
That's insane.
I know, it's super funny. It's just random, the small things that happen and the connections. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, when you see like people that are doing really well, like, just keep doing well in your community. People will see it. You know what I mean? Cisco's still got plenty of connections. They just did a song and it was really, really dope. I don't know if you've seen that. I think it was like Into the Garden or something like that it was called. But they
was
literally
it Drew Hill
just
or
dropped
was
a
it
song.
a Cisco solo?
All of them. It was a whole freaking
the
whole group. And it was like it's probably like a 5-minute song. All of them just singing their asses off in like this really dope like villa out of California, like just fire, dude. It was so cool.
I'll have to check it out. Drew Hill is one of my favorites, man. They're so good.
Yeah, it was really dope.
That's what's up. Who are you most impressed with locally? Speaking of like local musicians and stuff, who are your like top 5 these days? I mean, not to put favorites out there, but who are you really feeling right now?
I would say Taylor J for sure. That's one of my all-time favorites. Like listening to music, period. Like I listen to him all the time. His move is crazy. The kid's he's gonna make it for sure.
Hell yeah.
Prince Riley. And I got to put Mac Turner in there with Prince Riley, but
I've heard of Mac Turner, but I've never heard of Prince Riley though.
Prince Riley, Mac Turner, they're all royal family. The whole royal family is super dope. But Prince is like, his music is just, it connects with me, man. I love that shit. Especially for a young kid, it's hard for me to like young people's music. But for sure them too. Other people that I would consider, let's see here. This is tough because I got a constant rotation of people. Let's see here. Cashinova for sure.
Yeah, he's dope.
I like Cashinova. His project that he just dropped is super dope. Mac Irv for sure.
Yeah, Mac Irv is dope.
His project literally just delivered too.
This is the third podcast that Mac Irv has been mentioned on that I've done in like the last 3 times.
I got really good feelings about this project, bro. Like I got some
Jake said.
Feelings for him. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I got some like really good feelings for him. I think something's gonna be offered, whether he takes it or not. I think something's gonna happen here. This shit's gonna fucking slap.
Yeah, that's a name that keeps coming up, especially lately. I feel like he's been really, really talked about, you know, for a long time, but lately I keep seeing him pop up in different ways.
Yep. So I think that was 4, right? And 5, I would say. There's like 5 people I could throw in 5.
Yeah.
I always like nerdy stuff.
Yeah,
his
I love
stuff's
nerdy,
dope
man.
because he's got a really cool movement going on.
Yep.
Dude, there's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
There's some people that I wish were still doing music, like you said, Lyric.
Yeah.
Gaines FM. Like I was a huge Gaines FM fan.
Gaines isn't making music anymore?
Dude, I haven't really heard anything lately from him. He's busy,
suppose,
dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a lot of shit going on. He's super busy. unless for some reason, because like I still even throw random messages out to him just to kind of keep in touch, but I haven't seen, like, if algorithms are thrown off, I haven't seen anything drop from him in a while. Nate Mills is always one of my favorites. He just dropped that song that was really dope. Clickbait.
Yeah,
that
really Clickbait was the best thing I've ever heard from him. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I slept on Dude for a long time, but that shit made me like, I was like, okay, I get it. Like,
Love and War, I believe his project was called. You should check that out because him and Simon Hodap put so much time and energy. They even had a little documentary that they dropped on YouTube, I believe, of the making of Love and War.
Oh, okay.
The live instruments, the way, I mean, dude, how many different tracks they had.
Yep.
It was, or how many, tracks, whatever it was. How many different tracks they had with different sounds, and this just to complete a masterpiece. Simon Hodap is just a weird, crazy engineer, dude. He's one of them guys. He's insane. He's so freaking talented.
Hell
so like when you see that and then he lists that project, like it's crazy.
Oh,
but yeah, I would say he's definitely up there always. But dude, I'm not joking. There's so many. Cashanova's cousin, I want to say it's Laken. My apologies if I mispronounce it, but his verse on Cash's project is so fire.
Is it crazy?
It's dope. Yeah, so I'm excited to hear some new music from him. B-Dot, she's always been one of my favorites. Stilo, always listen to his music. Stilo, his Memoirs of Stan Scott is by far one of the best projects last year ever put out.
I watched some of your guys' stuff yesterday, and I saw Stilo doing his freestyles on there, and that dude can spit.
He's one of the best, period.
Like, I mean, I remember hearing about him years ago. I mean, because he's part of, what's that crew called that he's in?
Pledge Empire.
Yep. Yeah, because I remember them from, like, 2009, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
way back. They did a lot of shows and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, man, there's so many people. Like Muja, he's constantly in my playlist too.
Always in the playlist. He's dope as fuck.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
There's crazy amounts. I can't even keep up on music anymore, man. Like, it's overwhelming how much I listen to. Like, like national music or international music, however you want to consider it. Like, it's really hard for me to like keep up on that shit. Like, I've been like forcing myself to try to go back and listen to that Freddie Gibbs album last year, and I still haven't got to it yet, dude.
Damn.
Like, it's terrible.
Yeah.
That was like album of the year or some shit, or nominated.
Same. Yeah, I haven't really checked it out either. There's so much on my radar constantly. What do you, so as far as like the local scene again, what do you see for the future? What do you think, like, post COVID, like, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, do you see local shows still being a thing? I mean, because since like the venues are shut down, like, what do you see really happening?
I see a scattered mess. So I hope that the Wisemen Show is still here. I hope other media sources stay consistent and form an alliance.
Absolutely.
I think these different artists are already starting unity and alliance. I mean, what you've been seeing happen on these versus battles, people literally showing competitions but still unifying and creating serious buzz and literally manipulating our own algorithms and shit. Like, I see a lot of good potential, but we really need to have some kind of structure. We need to like make sure we're actually focusing on the right things versus literally trying to put focus on all these different things. It's literally crabs in a bucket, man. It's like, it's really tough and it's really unorganized. And I think if we can really create a good culture and a good like hip hop economy, almost, like, it would be nice. It would be really dope. People really support the Water Wave crew. People really support Nice Minds. If we get Motivation to Hustle, they get the Wiseman Show, everything. Everybody just, all these podcasts, all these different people, we start getting press runs. When shows start coming in, we start supporting the fucking shows. We get these national artists not flying over us because we can't fucking sell at a show. We need to get our ass in these artist shows too, so we can start bringing these freaking people here. We got to put our money where our mouth is too. We're asking for the support, but we're not supporting our own shit. You know what I mean? So like, I hope that in 5 years, everybody's looking at us already. We have people from major labels that live right here in our fucking backyard. We've already said that multiple times on our show. We've had guests on our show that prove that. You know what I mean? We have very noteworthy people watching the shit out of us. So it's up to us if we really want to do something. So if there is some structure and there's no organization, in 2025, I think we're going to have at least 2 to 3 artists that had a very good opportunity in the industry. Now, whether they take it and run with it, that's a whole different story, but they're going to be really good opportunities. And I think Taylor J is going to be one of those people, and he might not take any opportunity that's thrown at him, and he's going to continue to build an independent business, which I see him doing. But whatever's clever, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I see Mac Irv doing that for sure too. I see those two like ready to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. A lot of what you said, and I do see a lot of unity starting to form. You know, I think we talked about this a little bit when we did our little trial run. But I feel like before 2020, you know, people would have been too busy. Like, I mean, especially like with helping me get my podcast up and running. Cause I mean, you offered your support. Kev Lowe, who, you know, was kind of starting to pop with CLM Presents and stuff. And just different people that, you know, I never really talked to prior to, you know, 2020 and stuff like that. And I do see a lot, like people are starting to look around a little more and like see who's doing what and maneuvering in ways that they like and stuff like that. So I do think that it's starting to form, but I do agree that we do need some organization of some sort.
Yeah, and it's being able to let everybody let those people help organize too. Trust in them and not have fucking gatekeepers for one.
Right.
I mean, you can have some kind of gatekeeping. I would say more of an organizing, but like when you say gatekeeping, it sounds like shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like it would be nice to have some kind of organization so we can filter the elite of the elite there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because even if we don't get 10 of our other top artists that may deserve it up in that spot, you got to understand, if we get a handful of the elites up there, then we have serious potential for partnering up with more features, start getting some of our names put on features, more opportunity to be like, hey, come on, here, I got an opportunity for you. Slide in with this, start networking with this person. You know what I mean? There's more opportunities with that, but we really need to have some kind of credible empire at this location where we can get people out here. Mm-hmm. People used to fly out to Prince's spot. We need somebody to really build some kind of empire to have a credible spot here. Whether it was a radio station, whether it's a podcast that's big enough, it doesn't matter. We need something here to have the attention. So when Young Thug comes out here, in his contract, you have media press run with boom, boom, boom. We need to have that again. Because every show that's came here, they're not doing that shit. Yep. Go 95 was the only person that was getting some of those interviews. We would have a couple of those interviews too. But other than that, there wasn't really shit. Right. We need to have that stuff. We need to be in touch with the rest of the industry nationally or internationally. That's the one thing that we need to organize and get under control. And we have all the connections to do it. Everything is here. It's all on our fingertips. We just haven't found a way to structure it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like if we had that structure, I mean, we could be the next Atlanta, you know, we could be the next, you know, like big area to do it. I mean, because Minneapolis has been that, you know, it's just been, like you said, like it hasn't had the structure, but it's always been a hotbed for talent. I mean, there's tons of people out there doing shit. So yeah, man, I totally agree.
We don't call it the land of 10,000 rappers for no reason, man. Yep. When I'm on Clubhouse, like when I jumped on that, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but like I jumped in a lot of rooms with like top artists. So I seen Joe Budden, I seen Royce 5'9", I seen Bun B, I seen a lot of these top artists, right? And then I seen all those other moderators that were in that group that didn't have that many followers. They're A&Rs or previous managers or whoever these people were from listening to conversations. I followed all those people. And a lot of those people have all these music review pages. And I try to find these groups that are actually really good. And like I'm connected with quite a few of them that are consistently still talking to those big artists. And every song I play from Minnesota, people are like, yo, Joey, god dang, what are you guys doing up there? Like, yo, we got winter for 9 months. We're always cooking. You know what I mean? While you guys are out having fun in the good weather, like we're cooking all the time.
Straight up.
And they love it. Seriously, because like they rip on people in these groups. Oh, your mixing sucks. Like, how are you going to hear somebody's mix all the way through a phone? Oh, okay. When you play that song, all right, I understand.
You can hear it. You know what I mean? You can hear it.
It's crazy.
If it's
so, like,
bad,
they're
it's
ripping
bad.
on people like, your hook sucks. Your lyrics suck. And they're actually listening. Like, it's funny. Like, they'll recite a bar then I'm like, damn, I'm surprised you even heard that. Like, they're actually listening in these Clubhouse, because like a lot of people are going to start talking shit about Clubhouse because now it's the new big thing and it's oversaturated, or it's getting oversaturated. But like, there is still some really solid things in there. You just have to know what to listen for. It's the same thing when somebody comes and daps it up and says they have the best opportunity for you. Most of the time, it's all baloney. You just got to be able to see through the smoke.
Right.
But these people, they know about Minnesota, man. A lot of people that are very connected, they know about Minnesota. They have connections here. They always talk about, yeah, I got a homie that's da 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 da. Like, oh, really? Interesting. Yep, I'm very familiar with that area, da 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 da. And I'm telling you, man, we have all the opportunities right here. Yep. You can leave if you want. It can help you for sure. Don't get me wrong. I don't care if anybody leaves, but we have it here. It's just organizing it up, man. Cleaning it up.
That's what I've been on, man. I mean, I don't feel like anybody needs to leave to be successful, and I feel like it can
help though, man.
It can help. It can help.
It really can. I mean, if you really plant your roots in different areas and really push your music in different areas, it's just a good way to just spread it like wildfire, putting it over here, getting some listeners over here and let it spread over there. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
It is smart. I mean, look what Tech9 did.
Yeah.
Look at how many shows he's done. Look at what like MGK did. Look at how many shows he was doing. Look how much of a cult following that he brought in. Look at all those different. Look at Cottonmouth Kings. Look at all those different people. Look at ICP, man, dressing up like a bunch of all those people you said had that cult following that they just literally went show after show after show. True. And I guarantee you, they played at so many empty shows.
Yep.
But they just slowly started getting people's ears.
Yep.
Just slowly started spreading.
True that. But yeah, I'm just saying that you don't have to move to like LA or New York or or whatever.
Right.
You
know, I agree with that.
Because yeah, I feel like those areas are extra oversaturated, and I mean the internet, bro. I mean, like you said, like Clubhouse is like a new lane, man. I mean, I'm on there. I literally haven't said a word on there yet, but I go on there like once a day and like listen to different conversations and stuff like that. I haven't quite found how I want to interject my voice into some of these conversations yet, but I definitely on there listening, and it's I definitely see it as the next big thing and the next big tool for artists to use.
I think the best ones to interject on and to kind of get flowing with it are the music review ones. Those are fun.
Yep.
If you just ask the moderators if you can plug in your opinion and you are an engineer and you actually know what you're talking about, they're going to start actually messing with you and you're going to start getting business. Like, there are people that are actually using it as a network tool and actually need an engineer or need a videographer. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I had a notebook of solid people that are industry quality that work with industry artists that don't have the biggest followings, but consistently work with these artists, so their level of quality is up there. So I'm writing down all these names just in case I know somebody that needs that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
I found this gal that literally has like barely any following at all. She has one of the most impeccable voices, dude. She's from the Dominican, and I think she's out of Rhode Island now. And I just linked her up with my buddy Adrian to do a song together because he's Cuban. He's kind of got that Latin little accent too. Man, they're going to make freaking awesome music.
That's sick.
So, I mean, they got some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I should definitely get on there more because it sounds like you have the same sort of like ear for talent that I do, because like I'm really good at like pairing two people that should work together like that. That's dope, man.
I love that stuff. That's fun.
Yeah, me too. That's a rare talent that not everybody has. Like not everybody has that ear to be like, oh, you're good at this, you would sound great with this person, you should work with this engineer and stuff like that. And we need more people like that, man, because I feel like,
but I know a lot of people get like super upset like when I compare them to people, but I do it in like a genuine way. Like, yeah, I never mean disrespect when I compare somebody to it. I don't care if it's an industry artist too. Like when I do that, it's like, dude, I would love to hear you two on a song together.
Hell yeah.
That's how they should take it as, because I love pairing that shit up. I think that's just it's fun, especially when you really get that jive. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, hell yeah, bro. We've talked for almost an hour at this point. But yeah, any last words you'd like to impart on everybody before we end this?
My headphones, I got 2% battery life.
Oh, word. Then that's a good thing. We're shutting this down. Timing. Yeah, hell yeah, man.
No, man, the only thing I got to say is if you were a fan of the Wiseman Show, just share the love, share any story that you've had or anything that you love about the Wiseman Show. Share that shit with Jake. Make him appreciate it. Not because I want him to get flooded with a bunch of shit. I just want him to realize whether it's over or not over, he's fucking appreciated for all the shit that he's done. You know what I mean? And he's the homie, he's the brother. So no matter what he does in the future, I'm always gonna support him. I'm always gonna be the homie. But I just want to make sure people know, like, don't be afraid to say thank you for shit that he's done. You know what I mean? Because he's done a lot for the community, and it would really suck to see him not get all the credit he deserves. You know what I mean?
That's what I made sure that I made very clear to him yesterday, is how much like of an influence he is, even though I had never had a conversation with him, and just how important I feel like you guys have been to the culture, man. And yeah, definitely, man. I mean, I think everybody should give Jake the flowers he deserves, man.
Yep. We all need him at certain times, man, and he needs it right now, man. And he's gonna have his ups and downs. He's gonna go through his shit. He's gonna be happy, but I mean, he's a solid dude. I'm glad to say he's the homie. So hopefully we can get going back at it and get the Wiseman Show flying again.
Well, dude, thank you for joining me. Thank you for all of your help, man. Thank you for being a huge influence, and just keep doing you, man. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to start seeing all these episodes start to flood in, man. It's going to be dope.
Fuck yeah, man. Appreciate it.
All right, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Have a good night, bro.
Yep, you too, man. We'll see you later, all right?
Thanks, man. Peace.